Hi guys, welcome back to the Move Yoga Studio. We are on our second day here for breaking down a few key postures for your practice. Today we're going to go over Chaturanga, which is such a staple in your practice. It builds so much strength and it's such an awesome posture to really understand, especially for safety of shoulders and lower back, core. So we're going to go over a few different options for you today as you are just starting your practice, if you're still trying to build some strength and find that understanding of your body and how to move it properly. We will give you plenty of variations to choose from to find which one works best for you, all equally important in building strength the right way. So none of them mean that you're weaker than somebody else. It's just keeping yourself safe and doing it in a healthy way. So we're going to start in our tabletop like we did in the first video, just finding this point right here to spread the fingers wide, find that awareness through the four corners of the hands, bringing the shoulder blades just down the back gently, pulling the navel in and up under the rib cage, and finding a little engagement here through the inner thighs. So we're going to come into high plank to start, and we'll just break down high plank for a moment, lifting the knees off the floor. You want your heels engaged, pressing back. You want to pull that navel in and up, really hug the rib cage into your body, and make sure those shoulder blades are nice and rounded down the back. We have a nice soft shoulder, not scrunched up into the ears. If this feels a little too strenuous for you, you can always drop down to the knees here and just hold this. So just equally strengthening, just gives you a little more rest through the shoulders and the wrists. And then our next option is when we actually start to call out in class, taking your Chaturanga push-up. There's a few different ways to do this to build that right strength for you. So the first is the modified version of our Chaturanga push-up. So coming back into a high plank to start, you'll take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, you'll drop the knees down, and then your heart's going to dip down towards the mat like an inchworm, keeping those sit bones high. And then you're going to come onto the belly, bring the tops of your feet to the mat, and just gently lift the heart up with an inhale into baby cobra here. Great, perfect, guys. Shoulders are nice and soft, and then we'll come back into our tabletop. So that's your first option, nice modified way to really start to build that core strength here. And then the second option is your full Chaturanga. What I'll explain first is we want to keep our shoulders in line, our elbows in line with our torso and our rib cage. We don't want them pushing past. That puts too much strain on the shoulders. So we want to keep, when we say hug the elbows into the ribs, a lot of times people get really tight with it. You create a lot of strain in the body. So you don't want it to be super tight, but you don't want the elbows flaring out to the sides either. You just want a nice brush against the rib cage, really soft but yet engaged. So an exercise to do, if you don't have a block at home, that's perfectly fine. When you come to the studio, you can practice with the block here. You want to find some alignment through the block, so we're going to set it on its second highest setting, and when you lower down through your full Chaturanga, you're going to just stop as soon as your sternum hits the top of that block, and that will keep you from passing the elbows past the back and finding that strain in the torso. Dana here is going to demonstrate this for us. So coming into her high plank to start. Take a nice deep inhale here, navel in, slowly lower down, bending through the elbows, stopping right at that 90 degrees. Awesome, nice long line, and then she's going to come to the tops of the feet and push up into her upward facing dog, keeping that navel pulled in and up. Awesome, great. And then you can come back onto the knees here or downward facing dog. So first option there for your full Chaturanga if you start to work on that. Another option Hadley is going to show us is to skip the portion of coming through upward facing dog. That takes a lot of strength. It's really can be dangerous on the low back if not done properly. So we'll show a different way that builds a lot more strength through the shoulders and the core without having that damage to the spine. So starting in her high plank here, she's going to take a nice deep inhale, keeping the elbows to the ribs here nice and soft. She's going to slowly lower down, but coming all the way to the belly with some control. Beautiful. Coming to the tops of the feet and just inhaling up baby cobra, nice little lift through the heart. So awesome, that looked great. So those are your few key components here for breaking down your Chaturanga push-up building that awesome strength through the shoulders, through the core, especially too, you noticed me cueing through the breath. That's also really important in this one especially. You want to take a nice strong inhale at the top. When you're lowering through your push-ups, you want to have an exhale there. And then we inhale into our upward facing dog or our baby cobra. And same with high plank. I didn't mention this earlier. You don't even have to lower down. You can just hold high plank for a breath or two and push back to downward facing dog. So a lot of options here to help you with listening to your body and what your body needs to build your practice properly. So thank you so much for joining us. Hope you learned a few more things today, and we'll see you next time.